We're learning more now about the mysterious vaping-related lung illnesses sweeping the United States. Cheddar's Chloe Aiello is standing by with more. Chloe, what do we know so far?
Hey, Hope. So 5 deaths and some 450 possible illnesses have now been linked to a mysterious vaping illness that is sweeping the nation. Patients across 33 states have fallen ill, reporting similar symptoms, including shortness of breath, chest pain, nausea, vomiting, fatigue, and even fever. Symptoms developed in days or sometimes weeks after patients used nicotine or THC vaporizers. The Centers for Disease Control has cautioned e-cigarette users, many of whom fall between the ages of 18 and 24 years old, not to buy illicit vaporizers or modify existing ones. The agency has also recommended users, quote, consider not using these products while the investigation is still underway. But as it turns out, buying legally won't always guarantee a user's safety. In Oregon, a middle-aged man died after using a vape purchased legally at a cannabis dispensary. Public health officials have declined to name which specific brand or dispensary was involved. Cheddar checked in on the case with Dr. Tom Jean, Deputy State Health Officer at the Oregon Health Authority.
In this case, it was a cannabis product that this person vaped, and we're working to get any remaining product and send that to the FDA. Our case in Oregon, that individual had purchased legal products. We don't know for sure if other products or additives could have been involved.
Although many cases involved illicit cannabis vapes, a majority of those who have fallen ill also reported using a nicotine product. So neither nicotine nor THC vaping has been ruled safe at this point. Desperate for some answers, some local officials have taken things into their own hands. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo over the weekend urged New Yorkers to quit vaping until the investigation is completed, saying in part, quote, our health guidance is no one should be using vaping products, period. New York State's Department of Health has implicated one specific chemical, vitamin E acetate. Department officials say the common vitamin supplement has been found in all of vape products they've tested, involved in more than 30 cases that they're currently tracking. The Food and Drug Administration, however, has said that no single compound is yet to blame, but that it would be smart to avoid inhaling vitamin E acetate in any case. The CDC in a statement said patients' symptoms are consistent with chemical exposure.
Thanks for the dive in on that, Chloe. I think what would be helpful to also know is how did these illnesses seemingly fly under the radar for so many months?
Yeah, so I think in the beginning it was just kind of like a smattering of cases that seemed unrelated until doctors, clinicians, and researchers started sort of comparing their notes, and then they started recognizing some similarities. And I think with this flying under the radar, much of it has to do with the age of vapers. The demographic with companies like Juul has skewed younger and younger. I think the median age of folks that have fallen ill in this smattering of illnesses is about 19. So I think in some of these cases, these kids are afraid to admit that they're vaping, especially if we're talking about THC. Now that brings us to regulation as well, because as you know, the federal government won't really touch cannabis regulation at the moment because it's federally illegal. With nicotine, however, they have had ample opportunity. Former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb had actually postponed making moves on this regulation until about 2022. The current acting commissioner has said that they're ready to make moves. But in this sort of vacuum where companies are able to not disclose their ingredients, not submit their liquids for testing, in this vacuum of regulation, now we have these illnesses. So it is obviously very tragic, but I have to say it's not completely unexpected.
All right, well, we'll follow this very closely, Chloe. Thank you so much for joining us here. That's our own Chloe Aiello, live from headquarters.